All right, we have a countdown. We have a timer and stuff, and it's
Nice.
going down.
Very nice.
So as we watch this, as I mess up the timer start, because I go off of the IRC instead of actually watching them go. There we go. I can go it now. All right. So as we're watching this race now, my question is clear to you. What is your favorite movie soundtrack of all time?
Uh, Labyrinth.
See, a lot of people my age would probably say like Romeo and Juliet or Singles was a big one.
Yeah, there's some good grunge stuff on there though. But I don't know. David Bowie's really good, and the Labyrinth soundtrack just has like 3 really good pop songs.
Have you ever heard the album Barcelona Gold, the music of the '92 Olympics?
No.
It actually has a couple good songs on it. Madonna, This Used to Be My Playground, and In Vogue, Free Your Mind.
Yeah, I say if you're talking about soundtracks, that's used to be my playground is League of Their Own, one of my favorite sports movies all time. That's played during the credits.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're already upset because Lori Petty likes the high ones, and she buys and Gina Davis buys the pennant, the little flag banner of the other team. You get a little misty-eyed.
Oh no, definitely. That's just a great film. Like that's a really good movie all the way across the board.
I'm not.
Do you think that she threw the game for her sister?
See, that's the thing to consider when you're watching that, and I don't know, but I think it's presented such a way to make both people look good, and not really tell the story. Oh yeah, by the way, Neerrm died to the popcorn boss twice.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. That's definitely not working out for him, but he's still in the lead.
What's another 2 other big for people my age movie soundtracks? The Crow and Craft.
Oh yeah, The Crow for sure. See, I never watched The Craft.
I didn't either, but it was like female fronted grunge, I think, was on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Or just alternative kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was introduced to The Crow from my wife because her older sister was, one of those broads.
We have a fish game. I'm sorry to interrupt this discussion.
Oh, good lord. Ryan is just he's not even messing around.
The record is 18 fish by Joshy D. The previous record was Ryan with 15. He's going in right now. He wants to beat the record. He's got 15. He tied his PB.
Tied it up.
He did not beat Joshy D, but that also means we have a lead change. Or do we?
Yeah, we definitely do.
I don't know. I thought Ryan was in the sport already. I think it's up the next elevator is the fish game, so I think Ryan is still in the lead.
It actually brings you back.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah. See, if you once he goes up this ladder, yeah, this one brings you back. The other ones, at least the one in the, no, I'm wrong. My mistake. The other ones bring you forward. Maybe this one does too. So I don't know if it's a strategy to actually just go in there and take it and die and go back. So that might be a thing.
Well, Neerrm did pass him because he did get to microwave Mick first. Let's see if he manages to die 2 times on this boss. Nope. Pretty solid fight right there. It's a good soundtrack. Not for any in particular song, but just the vocals. Is Josie and the Pussycats. From the movie, because Kay Hanley from Letters to Cleo does all the vocals in that movie, and fronts them in the song on the soundtrack, and I'm a big fan of hers.
I'm trying to think of all the soundtracks I've owned, but basically I was way into Kevin Smith movies because I was very impressionable at age 11, 12. So I have Clerks and Mallrats soundtracks, but I had Beetlejuice soundtrack growing up. Which is pretty good.
Beetlejuice was brought up as a good. Puke 7 brought it up as a soundtrack. Sam Peelin brought up. No, I'm sorry. Puke 7 also brought up Natural Born Killers and Pulp Fiction, and those are ones I remember as well.
Yeah, those are pretty good. My sister had the Cable Guy because it had that one track on there. Standing outside a phone booth with money in my hand was a really popular song. It's still a good groove. I listened to it last week.
Do you want to hear an off the wall? Well, probably one you wouldn't expect from me. That was really good. The soundtrack.
Yes.
Dirty Dancing.
I like that song, like the big song, but I don't know anything else about the soundtrack other than the I've had the time of my life. But I think that's like a really good, catchy, upbeat like tune. But I like 80s stuff, so.
Patrick Swayze, She's Like the Wind, is on that.
He sings. He
yeah,
sings on it.
Absolutely. Stay just a little bit longer. Won't You Stay? That song is on it. I think a Time of My Life with Jennifer something, and yeah, that was a good song. But I think it was like a lot of it felt like 60s kind of songs on that soundtrack. But I don't know. Like I was a kid, and we had the cassette, and we just heard it in the car, and I guess it just kind of stuck with me.
Oh, when you say that, we had the Footloose soundtrack in the car when I was young, and there's a lot of good tracks on that. I mean, Let's Hear It for the Boy is like, you can say what you want about it, but for me, we used to listen to that, so that has a little bit of staying power. But like the 80s synthesizer bass line on that track is just incredible.
Do you remember the first cassette or record you got, whatever the first one was?
Yeah, it was Tom Petty's Greatest Hits.
So I had Thriller on record. I don't know if I still have that. But what I remember is one Christmas I got like a portable tape player, not a Walkman, but it was just like a tape deck, single player tape deck. And I got 2 cassettes with it. One was Men at Work, Business as Usual, which was down, Land Down Under, Who Could It Be Now, Hey Johnny, or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other one was this compilation album called Hot Tracks. And Hot Tracks had the Flashdance Maniac song on it.
Oh, nice.
I want to see if I can pull up a list. You know what it also had? It also had Styx, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, ouch.
And that song used to scare me.
Some reason I just hate Styx. I don't know what happened to me, but I just don't like them. Mr. Roboto, you know that Buster from Arrested Development was in that commercial?
Which one?
There was a commercial where he was in a BMW, like singing Mr. Roboto very loudly or whatever, and it was Buster from Arrested Development.
Oh, I didn't know that, brother.
Yeah. I thought you would know that. That seems like a Larry type of thing to know. I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I might have known that. I might have known that, but I don't remember the commercial. Other songs on that album: White Wedding, Billy Idol.
Oh yeah, I had a Billy Idol Greatest Hits album. Again, I was I'm younger, so I'm late to the scene. I have the Greatest Hits albums. Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, Eurythmics. Okay, yeah, that's really European.
Rock of Ages, Def Leppard.
Well, anything Def Leppard is awesome.
You're on a Mexican Whoa Radio by Wall of Voodoo. I had to say it that way because no one would have understood what the song was.
You know what? I remember watching the infomercial for the compilation that you're talking about right now.
Is it really? Was there really a commercial for it? I don't remember that.
If it's not what you're talking about exactly, it was very similar because I know it was like late night me watching Comedy Central, and they'd be like, yeah, this was the 80s ballads or whatever. Well, that wouldn't be ballads.
Monster ballads, King.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was almost.
Yours is a little different, but yeah, very, very similar.
By the way, happy birthday. How old are you today, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, thanks. I turned 33 today.
33, so you were born in 84?
That's correct.
This album I'm talking about came out in 83.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't think it was commercials for that.
No, the ones I'm seeing was like a version of that had at least 2 of the tracks that you've mentioned, and that was out around like the late 90s, early 2000s.
There is one video on this link. What is it? K-Tel Hot Tracks LP 1983. I might have to queue that one up on my personal streams just to play it. There was a commercial, it looks like, but it looks like the video has been taken offline.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens.
But yeah, this whole discussion was brought up because you were talking about Maverick yesterday, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I had that soundtrack, and it really wasn't that bad, and even if it was country.
Well, the thing, yeah, I was watching the movie. I'd never seen it before, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is too goofy or too weird or whatever. But then when I came back to it, I thought it was better. It's a pretty fun movie. It's like a good comedy. I like Maverick. I just never seen it before until yesterday.
Buzz, that was a review.
Yeah, kind of.
Excellent.
It should have been a haiku.
I haven't seen Jawbreakers, but I believe that was kind of in line with the type of soundtrack that 10 Things I Hate About You and...
oh, yeah, that kind of garbage.
Yeah.
That would have been the kind of movie that I would have seen because I was in middle school at that time. But for me, it was like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I actually made a reference to on my stream earlier. It was that kind of garbage, but for somebody like you wouldn't even look at that kind of shit.
No, Cutting Edge have a soundtrack? I don't even know if it did.
Oh god, it probably does.
One of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. Was it romantic comedy or was it just drama? I don't remember. I laughed, I'm sure.
That would I would call it a romantic. Makes you think it's a hockey movie, but it's a piece of shit.
It's one of the best hockey movies of all time.
Yeah, it probably is.
Topic.
Yeah.
Come on, like the 40th time she says that, you can't help but laugh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you that I saw it. It was like my sister rented it, and you know it was pretty stupid. And then recently I saw it on TV, like cable TV, as an adult, and I was just like, oh yeah, I remember this movie. So I can't really give a non-biased. I'd have to sit down and watch the whole thing, but I don't think I'd get through it.
We're catching eggs here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're catching eggs. Oh, he's doing terrible.
Oh, he's missing them all.
18.
He's not all cracked up to be. Man, these YouTube comments, why am I getting notifications of them in the corner of my screen like a Windows pop-up? And how many people are going ham right now pasting this 18+ tiny URL link?
So apparently there's a race going on. Neerrm is in the final level, the dessert stage, and Ryan is still on the patio, the 4th stage. So Neerrm with a significant lead.
How many eggs did he catch, by the way?
I think it only said 8, 12.
Yeah, it was a poor effort no matter what. It definitely wasn't a record.
Yeah, I really wish I did something properly when I raced Josh ED. I should have utilized that opportunity to take all those records.
I'm planning on putting my
stupidity.
I'm planning on putting my controller down and going to the bathroom during my race with Dig Shake. And still winning.
He's probably planning on the same thing. No, you guys are close as far as I know.
He gets nerves, though.
He certainly does.
Did you watch any of him doing the trilogy race last night?
No, I didn't know that he was in it.
Oh, it was a disaster.
You said he forfeited, right?
He forfeited it like 4 hours when he got to Link to the... Because Link to the Past was stupid. You had to backdoor a palace, and the only tracker for the game that tells you like where you can and can't go based on your combination of items doesn't tell you these advanced things that only the top elite players know that are somehow in the logic of the game. So I had to go into Desert Palace from the back door to get the Moon Pearl. So you did everything else first because that doesn't present itself as an option to you. And then you're like, where the hell else can I go? And it's like, wait, can I go there? And you go there, and it's the Moon Pearl at the boss. And you're like, okay, that's stupid.
Yeah, unless you had somebody in your chat like telling you, hey, you need to do this, like you were kind of just screwed.
I mean, I only kind of knew because of watching like Yunos play the game. I think he's the only person I watch that plays that game that I'll actually give it a time of day. But yeah, no, I mean he had a bad time in. We had a level 7 in Zelda 1, where you got to the room just to the left of the Triforce, and then to get to that room, it was shapes. To get to that room, which was like 20 rooms in already, you had to bomb left 3 times, then go up, and then go right all the way, and then go down. Like it was the biggest waste of bombs ever to arrive at that decision. Yeah, it was. And in Zelda 2,
that kind of stuff.
Zelda 2 gave you everything but magic containers and an uncastable thunder unless you had 5 magic containers. So most of the time, most people had to go backwards if they didn't get one.
I'm gonna say with Zelda 3, I was watching some people do this weekly Zelda 3 race. Apparently,
some people, like 730 people, join that thing every week.
How many do you think were in it today?
Today, I would say probably like 104.
It was 108.
Wow, I was close.
Yeah,
No.
I was just sitting there like what? It was like, why is it hard to get like more than one person to play Zelda 2, and there's 108 people playing Zelda 3?
See,
It's so crazy.
The flaw lies, and by the way, Neerrm won.
Neerrm wins, ladies and gentlemen.
The flaw lies in the fact that it's so vanilla that vanilla runners and everyone so used to the game can pick it up. Whereas Zelda 2, it's actually a good randomizer. And because it's so different than vanilla, a lot of people don't give it the effort because they don't know what they're doing, they don't know where to go. We're going to catch some fish here.
That's why the big, like, all keys runners, like guys who do that kind of stuff, just don't regularly want to race it.
They would do it if it was vanilla overworld. But the problem with vanilla overworld is your items are going to be fixed within a couple different locations. Or
yeah, that would just simplify it way too much.
We have 16 fishes caught for Ryin7. I'm looking now. I don't think it is. No, Joshy D had 18 fishes caught. In his
16, man. That's 16 more than I got.
This is the second time doing it. He actually thought he was going to whip your ass so bad that he did all the mini games and played all the slot machines.
Did he win?
I don't think he won. We can bring that up when he joins us in the post-game commentary.
Say, nice work, Neerrm. Pretty good time. 1 minute, 30 seconds faster than what you just did, if I'm remembering properly.
It was about 30 seconds faster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't.
I thought you had a 17.
No, it was 16:31.
I wanted to start arguing about the time for no reason.
I see.
When did you start and stop the timer, though? Because that's the important thing.
I start the timer with the race, so this is actually more like a 50. Well, RaceBot had a nice 8-second delay on my .done there.
We're gonna blame Rose City Saint for that.
So this is really world record.
I think so too. I'll give it to you. By the way, the world record that is. Nicely done. Hey, listen, what was your first album growing up, like cassette or record?
So...
I'm sorry, you're so young. What was your first digital download album?
No,
that you
it was a
purchased?
cassette. It was a cassette.
All right.
Is he that young? How old are you?
He's like 21.
I wish I was 21. I'm 28.
Oh, you are young then. Shit.
Yeah. My first cassette was an Out of the Blue cassette, which was
Debbie Gibson.
No.
Oh.
It was a local band near Cleveland, Ohio that my uncles were a part of, and they had a cassette, and I listened to that all the time as a wee infant. There's home videos of me dancing along to the music as like a cute 1-year-old or whatever.
What is your favorite soundtrack of all time?
Soundtrack, like video game soundtrack, or just any soundtrack?
Music, TV, movie, TV soundtrack, and we'll accept compilation albums too.
I'm not really a big TV person.
Not like TV theme songs, but like music inspired by a movie or that was included in a movie.
Right.
Yeah, it's easier for movie. Like, did you ever go to the store and be like, "Oh, I like that movie. I want to buy that movie's soundtrack"?
Never in my life.
So you never had a soundtrack?
Not of a movie, no.
Well, which one did you like?
It's a tough call because I don't know. There's a couple. Like I've always been a fan of Across the Universe, that Beatles movie they did with Joe Anderson and what's his name,
Yeah,
the other guy.
I saw that.
That's a good one.
How about compilation albums like an Ultimate Dance Party '97? Have you ever purchased one of those because of a TV show and maybe you saw it in Walmart and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get that for fun, but I'm not gonna let anybody know I really like it.
I can't say that I have, because I was on the internet at a young age, so anything I wanted was just Kazaa, Napster.
Well, did you Kazaa or Napster anything of significant? We don't have to.
Man.
Yeah.
I can't really think. Like, it was always specific songs. It wasn't like exactly like, hey, there's this album out. But I do remember like the old 2 a.m. Michael Bolton ad.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I don't know that. I don't know if I know that one either. That might have been a Time Life music of the '80s greatest hits compilation in 13 chapters.
I want to say it was like greatest love songs or something like that. Or hottest love songs of the '80s or something like that.
I think I actually know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
I remember my neighbor's, I think it was, I'm going to say 4th grade, his birthday party. We were dancing to Jock Jams in his basement. Jock Jams 1.
How hype was it when Dan Patrick would just go in fuego for no reason on the track?
Yeah, it was, I didn't even know who Dan Patrick was at the time. I didn't have cable, so I didn't have an appreciation for that.
Was that Jock Jams? Then they did Jock Rock. I don't remember which one they did first.
Maybe it was just Jock Rock was the first one. It was Jock Rock. It was the first, it was just like, it was just like the stadium music, the stuff that you would be, that would be played if you went
the Bulls
to
music
the United
started.
Center. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't that have
Because,
that like a
I
one
grew up
word
in Chicago, so there was like all that Bulls stuff too.
They had that one word title to start it. I forget for that song. I forget what it's called. It's something like Sleaze. I don't know what it is. It's something weird. The song for that, the title of that song.
But yeah, that song, like with the techno and the and now your starting lineup, like that was a big
For
deal.
your Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, that was like any game on the radio, like they would just like put that at full blast. They wouldn't talk over it. They would just let it play. That was like a huge thing in Chicagoland area.
I think it's called Sirius, the Alan Parsons Project. And then right after that track, this is Jock Rock Volume 2, by the way. And then right after that, it's In Fuego by Dan Patrick. Then you have Europe, The Final Countdown, Kiss, Rock and Roll All Night, Aretha Franklin, RESPECT, Sam, The Sham, and the Pharaohs, Wooly Bully. And then they have some cheerleader crap after that.
That doesn't seem like the stuff that I had, because I would remember like We Will Rock You by Queen was on there.
Yeah, we're talking about 2 different albums. Jock Rock Volume 1 has We Will Rock You by Queen, Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones, Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter, hey, every time somebody scores a goal.
Yeah.
Moni Moni, Tommy James and the Shondells.
Moni Moni, not by Billy Idol.
No. I Feel Good, James Brown, which is actually called I Got You, the name of the song, but it's the one he's like, I Feel Good. Tequila, The Champs.
Oh, that's good. That's a classic.
Born to Be Wild, Steppenwolf. And all these bangers. Nah, Nah, Hey, Hey, Goodbye. And the Sports Center theme to close it off.
The Sports Center theme, I see.
And then they have some stuff in the middle, like Who Wants a Hot Dog? Who Wants a Cookie? Kind of stuff like that. He shoots, he scores. What's your favorite sports announcer catchphrase?
It's a tough one.
What was that?
It's not tough at all for me.
Oh, tough one. What do you got?
What, are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably Ex-Wife by Norman Chad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said like major sports or Ex-Wife Norman Chad. But it's more of a way of life than it is a a catchphrase.
I think because I grew up with NASCAR, the whole Darrell Waltrip, boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing, boys.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be up there for me.
How many times a day do you say co-opetition?
Nah, 750.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Being a NASCAR fan, you probably would say that 750 times. Ryin7's going to reopen shop here. He's open for grand reopening right now. How about, you ever hear the Pittsburgh Penguins announcer or the former Pittsburgh Penguins announcer where he'd just be like, scratch my back with a hacksaw, stuff like that?
Yeah, I don't know that one. I only know Pat Foley, Chicago. Like, if we're going to talk about that kind of stuff, they do a lot of that goofy bullshit. He always says tree turdy tree and turd, like that kind of stuff when it's like in the third period. That's a lot of Pat Foley garbage.
There's that Chicago White Sox homer announcer as well that has a lot of good stuff.
Hawk.
Yeah, the Hawk.
That was gonna be the other thing I was gonna say. Hawkisms, and that's a can of corn. He gone, like that kind of stuff. You can put it on the board. Yes.
I like when they lose on a walk-off, he's just silent for 4 minutes.
Oh,
He
yeah.
just doesn't even say anything.
Well, that was like the Cubs in the 90s was like, if you listen on the radio, like Ron Santo would just be like, it was great play-by-play, but like once he got pissed off about them losing, it was just like he wouldn't say anything for like 10 minutes. Pat Hughes and Ron Santo was some good stuff. I feel bad for anybody who never got a chance to listen to that.
We have on the radio for the Yankees, we have Ron Sterling, something like that. And one of them is the Twilight Zone guy, and the other one's the announcer for the Yankees. And he would do, "It is high, it is far, it is gone, an A-bomb from A-Rod."
Yeah, I know that one.
He had a nickname for everybody.
That one gets played.
The Milkman, Melky Cabrera, with a home run. Like everybody had a El Capitan, Derek Jeter. Everyone had a little bit of a catchphrase. Ryin7 is just absolutely going to make me run out of topics to talk about right now.
And I think we're doing okay, because I don't think we've talked about the race at all.
What are your favorite NASCAR drivers of all time, Neerrm?
I was the biggest Rusty Wallace fan on the planet.
How upset were you when you would go to Target or Toys R Us and you would want to buy a Rusty Wallace car and it would have like Penske on the hood or Rusty Wallace instead of Miller Lite?
I mean, I was a kid. I guess I didn't really care. But
censorship.
It was a thing for sure.
By the way, I died in that, to talk about the game a little bit, for the first time ever the other day. I died jumping over that waterfall by jumping into the spikes.
I've done that a couple times in practice if you jump too early.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that before.
I think I jumped too late and did it.
I had a good question for you.
Go ahead.
We're running out of topics here. If, say, Ryan had won this race and then won the next race, so that would be 3 people, 2-1, each of us having lost to a different person. What would be the tiebreak scenario there be?
All right. So when it's a tiebreaker head-to-head, I actually conferred with Digshake on this. For scheduling reasons, when it's a tiebreaker head-to-head, it's based on head-to-head record.
It would have been a 3-way tie with
right.
each person beating the other person.
In 3-way tie scenarios, it is a race-off.
Oh, I see.
So it'd be the first 2 to finish in that scenario. And Ryan has just gone and forfeited now.
Close the restaurant.
Yep.
It's hard when you game over in this because you lose your heart containers. You'll get one back in this level, but it's just like, you already lost at that point. And it's like, you're going to do your best for the audience. But I believe this is more of Ryan's being considerate for time because he's got another race now and maybe doesn't want to get pissed off more than it is he's just flat out pissed off.
Maybe he's fighting Doug.
There's another race?
Yeah, the original scheduled race, Ryin7 versus Rose City Saint at 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
I forgot I thought we were doing that one. I apologize.
See,
I got a bottle of Templeton Rye for my birthday, so I apologize.
Speaking of Rusty Wallace, I was a big Jeremy Mayfield fan, so I had a lot of Jeremy Mayfield stuff. And when they blackballed him for taking a little bit of meth. Not a big deal. Just a little bit, and they blackballed him from I have a big case of all the diecast cars of Mayfield and stuff. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Because they were teammates for
Yeah.
a good while there, right?
Yeah,
I
and they were
recall
actually
correctly.
they were actually both doing well in the top of the standings at one point in time. And yeah, it was just like all the and then they brought on Ryan Newman onto the
Yeah.
team. And it was like all resources went to Newman and Rusty Wallace, and Mayfield was still like eking out like top 10 performance like finishes and then overall standing stuff. But it was just like there was one time where he won a race in like Richmond, last race of the season to qualify for something. I forgot what it was, but I don't think they did the chase back then. But he won a race in Richmond with maybe it qualified him for the All-Star race or something for getting that win. But Ryan's here. Ryan, hello.
Hello, gents.
You just called me G-Nut?
Gents.
Oh, gents. How you doing, man? Tell us about your favorite movie music soundtracks of all time.
Could be West Side Story. First
Hey.
one that popped in my head.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're a big music guy. You listen to a lot of genres. You never indulged in like the grunge, kind of the Crow or the Craft, or like singles or anything.
The Crow was a good one. What's the
Romeo and Juliet.
you know, really good. That is a very good, relaxing, kind of chill one.
Which one?
Braveheart.
Put on a couple candles, dim the lights, put on the Braveheart
Yeah,
soundtrack.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought up Dirty Dancing as well.
Dirty Dancing. Ooh, that's good.
So what happened there at the end of the race?
You know, it didn't start out that great, and it kind of progressively got worse.
You were in the lead until you did the first minigame because Neerrm died 2 times on the popcorn boss. And
oh god, that's the only reason I did the mini game, because I died before that.
yeah, so you were in the lead. You took the mini game, and Neerrm passed you, and then that was pretty much it. But and you can't get offended because I'm going to say no offense meant. I mean,
I'm
no
offended.
offense by this. You did everything in this race probably as bad as you can, including here's my setup. You tried to get back your record in the fish game. And you caught like 6 fish.
I know. It was... you know, I'd like to have a review of that. I'm pretty sure I caught 1 or 2 that it didn't count, but, you know, it's the game. The game hates me, pretty much.
Oh, it wasn't in this race. For the race before this, I jumped in the elevator, and it went up, and then it kicked me out of the elevator and threw me in the spikes. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I said that. I mentioned this is the only in games very late in the Nintendo life cycle can you see somebody jumping onto an elevator, land the jump, and then miss the jump at the same time. Yeah, that was hysterical. But anything you're looking forward to doing a little bit better or a little bit worse, Ryan, in your next match?
I look forward to completing the game.
Are you going to try mini games, or are you going to be Captain Serious this time?
I'd like to get the record, but I'd also like to be Captain Serious.
Let me
I mean,
put it.
It's a real. It's a. My heart.
Let me put it this way: this is not the last chance you're going to get to play the game, because if you move on to the losers bracket, there is still at least 1 more race, possibly 2 more races where you can go for that record. So if you want to save face and just grab a win right now, certainly maybe skip the mini games. If you want to try for your record, there are still other races left for you to get the win. It's just what you want to do. You know, pick and choose what you want to do. Do you want to win going into the losers round and saying, "Hey, listen, if things went better, I could have made it," or do you want to just take the 0-3 and then be considered maybe the next Joshy D?
Ooh, that's low.
It's tough though, but it's real.
Yeah,
and this is your real
that's pretty
decisions
low.
you have to make. This tournament teaches life lessons. It's not all like good game like Zelda 2 tournament is. Like, this affects your livelihood as a person.
This is tough.
Right.
We might have to postpone this next race. I might need a day or 2 to think on this.
Unfortunately, we're already ready in the race room, and I got most of the people cropped, so we're going to need you to join it, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you after the race.
All right. Thank you.
Weather update. Do we have one?
It's still hurricane.
How long is it going to last?
Last I heard, the storm was moving at 1 mile per hour, so it's lasting a significant amount of time.
It's crazy.
Hurricane in Texas?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? You don't know about
Yes,
this?
I'm. Oh.
No, not
No,
yet.
I've heard about it. I just it just seems weird. Texas doesn't seem like the type of hurricane place.
I remember Galveston got nailed one time.
Oh, they're getting nailed right now.
Yeah, it was like the worst place in the world to have a hurricane is there because of where it sits on the Gulf of Mexico or something and the way the winds blow, like by quadrant. I don't know, something like that. And I remember one time Galveston was like decimated. And we might be talking mid-90s, late 90s or something like that.
Yeah, I had heard that there are a couple places down there, like Port Aransas and like Rockport, like are just basically gone.
Yeah, we had Hurricane Sandy here 5 years ago or something like that. And I lived in a basement apartment. And, you know, a couple trees went down in the neighborhood. But the hurricane, like, I didn't feel the effect of the hurricane. Like, I was insulated from the outside. Nothing really happened. We lost internet and cable. Like, that was pretty much about it. And then I go outside, and outside is trashed. I drive to my parents' house, and, like, the hurricane actually cleaned their lawn because it actually just blew everything off of their property. There wasn't even, like, a table turned over in that neighborhood. And then I checked the news, and, like, towns and roads are destroyed along the south coast of the of Long Island. And I'm like, wow, it's just like 3 different storms in one. Like, one area very close to me had nothing done. My area had just your basic hurricane debris. And then other towns and areas were just like everyone's homes were destroyed. It's just weird how weather works like that.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. We're not getting much more than wind and rain here, thankfully. But it'll probably flood here just because of the sheer amount of rain. But nothing too crazy.
Well, I did that wrong.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. But
Yeah.
thanks for rebroadcasting, guys. And I made it somehow. 1 day of practice. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on your 3 wins today. And we'll talk to you later, and stay safe.
Yep. Have a good one.
Later.